Finally, what would the documents be required when you open a new brokerage account? Here are the list of standard documents that you need to provide when you're opening a brokerage account. In case you're looking for some consultation on the kind of brokers to choose from, you can always connect with us on support@trackinvest.com, and we can help you get your desired broker or a desired brokerage account open basis the requirements that you need. Now finally, let's look at the 10 key questions that you can ask before you actually purchase your stock. The first, people. Who are the people running the company of which you want to buy the stock? Who is the CEO? Who is the management? And who is the board of directors? Is there a good governance system in place? Are there different variety of advisory board of members on this company that you're trying to purchase? Check for the background of the CEO and the management team who's going to execute the vision that is outlined by the company. Check for their experience. Check whether they've had successful past stints in similar companies before joining this company. Also check for consistency. Have they been successful all the time, or have there been some failures? Failures are fine. What was the reason of the failure? That's more important. So it's the most important thing behind a company is the people, and they are the key reason why companies succeed or fail. Checking the background of the people and doing a good due diligence on the team is worth the effort before you buy a stock in a company. The second is the product. Is the company making an innovative product or service, something that's not done earlier, or something that is highly in demand, or the need of the population or the customers of that market really desire the product that the company is selling? So what's the need like? What is the product? Is it innovation? Is it different from its competitors? What are the USPs of the product? It is worth checking that out to understand the success of this product in the coming years. Third, is the company in a growing sector, or is it in a declining sector? Sometimes there are good companies, but if they're stuck in declining sectors with wrong products, they can go bust or fail. So checking out the sector mechanics, what is the kind of growth in the sector, really helps to understand whether the company is going to do well in the future. For instance, some of the growing sectors right now in India are the e-commerce sector or the electric vehicles sector. Any companies that start a business in this sector or address this sector are likely to succeed, subject to the board of management or the team that's running the company. So e-commerce companies are often started in India. There are many companies that are started in every few months, but the companies that succeed depend on the team that is running that company. Even though the sector is growing, the team, if it's not capable enough to execute and to deliver however growing the sector is or however good the product is, the company is likely to fail. Leverage. Now here's coming to some financials. It is very, very important to understand whether the company is managing its debt well. All companies borrow to grow, and they use the companies that use debt very well, they can grow and expand at a lower cost as compared to companies that give away the equity. So the question to ask is the company able to repay its debt in time, or does it have liabilities that are building up and it's unable to finance its liabilities in due time? Next is the vision and story that the company is outlining in its annual reports. Is it believable? Is it possible? Or is it too far-fetched? Do the previous annual reports and the stories that are mentioned in those annual reports, have they been delivered in the previous years? This is an important due diligence that you can do to check the credibility of the company, its management and its CEO. The next indicator is the rate of growth. Now, rate of growth of revenues of the company is an interesting indicator, and we'll see why. Say, for instance, there's a company and it has positive revenues year on year. Now, the interesting point here to note is that are these positive revenues growing year on year, or is there a decline in the recent years? Now, this is important because if there is a decline in the revenue, even though it's positive, there could be a reason that the company's products are likely to get threatened or competition is coming in the market, or that the company product sales are going down, it is important to understand why, what is changing, and even though it's positive, why are the company sales going down. So for instance, if there is a company which has 15% growth in revenue in the previous year, but this year is shown 10%, then it's a red flag for you, and you should do a due diligence and go deeper into why that is happening. If it's a temporary thing, it's fine, but if it is a trend that you notice, then that's a red flag for you to not purchase the stock. The next is dividends. Now, dividends, as we know, are the profits that are distributed to the shareholders in that company. So you need to understand, is the company paying dividends to its shareholders? If it's not paying dividends, it's likely to be reinvesting in the business itself. So is there enough transparency in the use of funds in the company, or is it not mentioned very clearly in the annual reports? So this is a question that you should go deeper into, because it is important to understand how the company is using its funds and managing them year on year. Next is competition and threats. So a competitor analysis of that company is important, and it could be easily found. If you do a bit of a research, you will understand who is the competition of that company and what are the threats to this firm in the coming years. Understanding this will help you assess the risk with this stock. It will also help you understand the likely threats and the likely challenges the company is going to face, and you can then see if the company has tried to address these challenges in the annual reports. Politics and macroeconomics around this company's products. So sometimes certain companies' raw materials or certain companies' products get affected because of policies by the government or certain news in the economy. So it's important to stay updated with the macroeconomics of this company, what affects this company, what are the raw materials, and is there a price change that's likely to happen which might affect the price of the raw materials that are bought by the company, and hence the overall price of the product. If the price of the product increases, will it still be as viable for the customer that it's selling to? These are some of the questions that you can ask to understand the strength of the stock and the company. Finally, capturing the news sentiment. What are people saying about this company? You have done your due diligence, you believe that this is a good stock, but it's important to validate what are the other investors talking about this company. This also can be easily available. You can do a bit of research and you will understand what is the news sentiment around this stock. So now, the only thing left for you to do from here is to start actually investing and practicing on TrackInvest. Sign into TrackInvest platform using the email ID that you have used to register on this Internshala platform. Next, your password is the same as your email ID that is used for your registration. You can change this password by clicking on the profile icon on the top right corner and then clicking on the edit profile option. Once you sign in to the TrackInvest platform, you would be given access to the NSE markets. NSE markets are the Indian stock markets, and while we have 10 other exchanges on the platform, you can begin with the NSE markets and then you can slowly work your way towards the other international markets. For learning on the international markets, you have to purchase a premium subscription on TrackInvest for 700 rupees only. Write to us on support@trackinvest.com in case you need help with that. Finally, you can also check out the demo of how to use the TrackInvest platform either by clicking the next button or by going onto our YouTube channel, The TrackInvest Show.